Use of can in a relative clause to complete the sentence. In this grammar review, we are also going to make use of can in order to complete the sentence along with the relative clause to make the sentence full of meaning. Can you explain me this? Explain this me, or explain this to me. So in this case, the answer would be C. We can also explain to someone something. So we can always say, I can explain this to you, or I can explain this to Ahmed, or Ahmed can explain this to me. But here we are talking about a conversation, a dialogue which is orally spoken, and it is said, can you explain this to me? This to me. So the person who is going to explain will explain this to me. The preposition to me is very important here because the explanation has to be done to somebody. So we can also use explain to someone something. Look at this example now. Reported question. She asked whether she could borrow the car, if she could borrow the car, if she could borrow the car with a full stop. So we have three options. She asked. Now this is, remember, a reported question. It is not a direct question. It is being reported. Somebody asked a question and this is being reported. So the first option is whether she could borrow the car. This is with a full stop. It is a reported question. If she could borrow the car, question mark, and if she could borrow the car, full stop. Let us look at the answer. What answer we have in the reported question? The answer is A. B is wrong because we don't use question marks in reported questions. Why we don't use a question mark in the reported question? Because we are reporting the question which was asked by somebody. So at that moment when we are reporting, we are actually not asking the question. We are talking about somebody who asked the question. So we are repeating the question in a reported manner. So when we have to report a question, we do not need the question mark there and we do not need to say it like a question. So that means that the answer that is correct is A, because if we are using B, it has a question mark. And we don't want to have a question mark because this question has been asked earlier by someone and we are just reporting it and we are saying she asked whether she could borrow the car. So we are not going to say the question in the reported form. The reported question will change into a statement by us. So she asked whether she borrowed the car. We cannot use if she could borrow the car because that has a question mark. And if we say if could she borrow the car, then the structure is totally wrong. It has to be if she could borrow the car with a full stop, not with a question mark. So in that case, the correct answer would be whether she could borrow the car. Whether is a substitute for if. So for the possibility of having something done or something being done, the word whether with W-H-E-T-H-E-R is used. This is not the other weather which tells us about the climate of some place. This is the second weather which could be another confusing word in English. Therefore, when we report the question, we put whether or if there and then we put the sentence as a statement and not as a question, and we do not use a question mark because we are reporting the question. We are not asking the question. Only a question mark is used if the question is being asked. But this is a report on the question that has been asked earlier Therefore, we do not need to ask the question in the similar way as it was questioned earlier. We are just reporting it, so the reported question will not have a question mark. In that case, it will be a wrong grammar structure and the punctuation would be completely wrong if we do that. Therefore, the correct answer would be, she asked whether she could borrow the car, with a full stop.